Hello, this is HG Bailey, and welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy IV! Let's see what's behind where we fought Zeromus the last time. Huh? What's that sound? Whose world is this? Oh no! It can't be! Oh, well, then what are you? Time! I heard that the sprite that they used for Zeromus EG was the same one they used for him in the Final Fantasy IV Easy type version of the game. Now, in order to fight Zeromus EG, I thought you had to fight all the Lunar Eidolons and get all their books, but I guess you don't have to. But regardless, what you want to do is use the summons on him, or the lunar books on him. Once you do, then you can pretty much go all out. He can't cast spells, he can't... I mean, he'll eventually recover. He's not going to stay like this forever. So don't think that this is going to be like totally cheesing the boss. No, he will recover. But until then, I want to do everything I can. Now, he will eventually cast Reflect on himself. But he can't right now, but eventually he will. So just go to town, do whatever you can. I like Lunar Dragon for Toad. And now normally if you try to cast Toad, like the old-fashioned way, it won't work. The Lunar Books bypass that resistance. So, but I do like how they have the same music and everything like that. It's a nice touch. If you don't have the Lunar Summon books, or you just think that's too cheap, then well, let's just go with Holy, whatever. Yeah, if you think that's too cheap, then uh-oh. Crap. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. Let's see, I want to use Lunar Ifrit next if I can. Hopefully he won't get Reflect. Okay, we're good, we're good. Lunar Ifrit. There we go. I wish they... Oh yeah, they do use the same sprite. Okay, never mind. I was going to say, I wish they used their Lunar Eidolon sprites, but no, they do. Yeah, Lunar Ifrit casts Stop on him, so now he's just going to stay there for a little while. Maybe, just maybe, I might eventually get Abel's Lance to proc on a boss that I care about. The other weapons seem to have no problem doing that. Oh well. But yeah, he has Reflect, he has, well obviously he's going to have Big Bang, he's going to have all of his really hard stuff, so. And for, I don't know, did I ever explain what the easy type version of the game was? Well, when they made Final Fantasy IV in Japan, it's one thing I find fascinating about the game, just so much background to the development of the game. I wanted to wait for someone's turn to come up just in case. But yeah, when they made Final Fantasy IV, well, they made the original version of the game, right? And then when they brought it over to the United States, they dumbed it down a little bit. They made it... Well, technically it's easier because the bosses have like less HP, less stats, and so on. But in a way, I almost find it harder because you don't have access to like the curtains and all the battle items and some of the secondary commands and stuff like that. I mean, they really... I mean, it's still Final Fantasy IV. I love it. But, I mean, just relatively speaking, they really dumbed it down. But after, very shortly after, but after they released that version to the United States, they made what was called Final Fantasy IV Easy Type, which is even easier than that, believe it or not. And, like, there were some things they changed, like the Ancient Sword that you find in the old waterway back at under Baron, that was like the piggy's stick, or whatever it was. It would turn enemies into pigs. And, let's see, like Ribbons absorbed elemental attacks like it did in Final Fantasy III and such. But I don't know that there's a fan translation for that version of the game. I'm not going to play it, because I don't think there is a fan translation. Oh! Well, then. I didn't think I was going to be able to kill him in time, but... Well, apparently I did. Well, okay then. But yeah, once you use those lunar summon books or whatever, they will... you can go back into the trial and get them again. So, that's pretty nice. Well, alright, we got him. I was thinking this was going to be like a 10 or 15 minute boss fight, but apparently not. So, do we get anything for killing him? Or... game? No, we don't get anything for killing him. So, but, you know, maybe I should try fighting him remotely fairly. What do you say, viewers? I'm going to try again because, well, let's take a look at the bestiary there. Yeah, I've got a 99% bestiary. There's 2 monsters that I've missed, and I want to pick them up. So I'm going to try and find those floors. I'm probably even going to switch my party around a little bit, get Sid out of there, and we'll try this one again. I'll just meet you down there when we're done. Alright, I found the floor that I'm looking for. This one is before Kain's, after Kain's trial, but before Sid's trial. Yeah, after Kain, before Sid. This is the party that I've decided to bring with me this time around to find the remaining enemies that I'm looking for. Let's see, we got 45 speed, 72, 56. Let's see, we equipped the Rainbow Robe on Rydia there. 45, well, it boosts her intellect more, and that's what I care about. So, I've also got her on the Assassin's Dagger that I had on Porom there. I'm going to list my setup in the video description there, but here's basically what I've got. I'll probably eventually equip that, the martial armlet on Yang, and give the protect ring to Porom there. But anyway. Oh, whoa, hold on. Stop. Oh, you paralyzed him. Okay, good. I forgot I turned the battle speed way up. Let's get to Rydia's turn if I can. Of course, if I kill the guy first, that works too. Okay, but anyway, this is one of the 2 enemies that I'm missing from my bestiary. I'm finally going to get 100% bestiary. I've never done it before. Never gotten 100% bestiary. I've gotten like 99% before, but never 100% because I never fought that Brachiorytus before. So, okay, there's one. Let's see if the Siren will get the other one. Nope, that just gets a golden toad. Let's get out of here. Run! And, let's turn down the battle speed so the enemies don't annihilate me. Okay, well, if I can't find the Iron Giant, I'll get it off screen. Where is... oh, yeah. This floor is relatively short. There's the exit, but I'm just going to walk around for a little while. Okay, there's the last one that we're looking for. The Iron Giant. It is a giant type enemy, so we want to use the Fairy Claws and just go all out. Yeah, we don't even need to charge up, although Kain might want to. But yeah, he has no elemental weakness, so really all you gotta do is just go all out like that. Maybe use Flare on him, that'd be a good idea. You're the last enemy I'm gonna be fighting, at least last new one in my bestiary. Alright, so with that, I should have a 100% bestiary. Come on. Yes! Woohoo! I don't know what SPC stands for. I'm guessing that's like species or something, but... well, that's the number of enemies you've killed, I know that, but anyway, got the 100% bestiary. I'm not going to show every single, like, the detailed bestiary, but, well, I'll just show you the names of all of them at least, just to show you that, yes, I did indeed get the 100% bestiary here, so, alright! And just so you know, I know what you're thinking, viewers. Shibeli, are you going to go for 100% bestiary in the interlude and the after years? And the answer is no. No, I am not going to go for it for those games. Because pretty much, well, you'll see. I don't want to spoil it, but, well, there's a reason why. So, yeah, you got all the normal enemies. For the most part, they show up in the order in which you'd probably meet them. And then, after that, you got all the new enemies in this version of the game. It's also in the Game Boy Advance version of the game. There's the last 2 new enemies. And let's see, there's the Brachiorytos, which for some reason appears right in the middle of all this. Then you got the regular bosses. Oh, they even got Golbez there, even some of the ones you couldn't get before. Or you never actually killed. Got the Cave of Trials. Zeromus. Whenever you go into one of these menus, it plays the music for that battle. So that's pretty nice. I like that. I like it when they did that in the the Final Fantasy 1 remake. And there's Zeromus EG. Speaking of which, you know what? Maybe we should show off what he can really do in battle. Let's not hose him with the lunar summon books. What do you say, viewers, huh? One more time for good old time's sake, or however the expression goes. I'll meet you way back at the bottom again, so that way we can fight them a little more fairly. If these guys will ever get out of my way. There we go. Aw, come on! I just fought you 2 steps ago. Okay, I've made it all the way down to the bottom floor here, and here's the setup that I'm going to be using. I think I got almost every single piece of rare equipment that you can in the Lunar Ruins, or most of them. You got even the Hero's Shield. I picked up the Caesar's Plate on the way down as well. Nirvana. Oh, you know what? By the way, we want to give... we want to give the Twin Stars to Porom just for some extra magic defense, so that way Yang can have the Protect Ring there. Let's see, is there anything else? Let's go for the Dragon Claw, or no, Tiger Claws for the speed boost. Yeah, that's pretty good there. Got that. Okay, yeah, I think we're all set and ready to go. Let's get Float on everyone. We want to have that, just in case. And, okay. Oh, you know what? For this redo, let's switch back to the arrangement. Yeah, there we go. I want to... Yeah, let's use a Dryad. There we go. Let's show off what Zeromus EG can really do when you don't completely hose him with the Lunar Summon books. I wonder why they give... Why... I thought there was something you needed all the Lunar Summon books to do. But I guess I was wrong. For boss time! Okay, now this time is going to be very different. Let's get to Cecil's turn. There we go. First things first, let's use a Spider Silk on him. Let's go double jump. Oh! You know, I don't have the, what is it? The martial armlet on Yang there. Well, that's not the end of the world. Oh, and I also got the Bomb Summon on the way down from a Bomb King, too. So, that's pretty nice. Let's see. You want to remove any weapon that can use a spell on him, like the Lightbringer there, because otherwise he will kill you, as his spells will reflect off of him. And as long as we're fighting this guy again, I want to review the bonus content for Final Fantasy IV, since I didn't really cover that in my full review of the game, well, before there. And this game, especially from when I played it in the Game Boy Advance version, I think it was probably the first game that I ever played that really had post-game content. And my philosophy, at least with remakes, for the most part, I really don't care for post-game content. And I think this is a good example of why I don't like it, because for the most part, I think post-game content should basically be like side quests, essentially. Good post-game content is basically the equivalent of good side quests, like Chrono Trigger. I mean, what should post-game content be? I mean, I think there's 3 criteria that I would use for making good post-game content. First, it should further the plot or give additional background or character development, things that maybe might have not made sense in the main game, or maybe ideas that they had for the main game, but then they decided to cut it out to help the pace of the game or something other like that. I think that would have been really nice. Like, I love how they did that with Kain's trial, where they talked more about his jealousy of Cecil and how he wanted Rosa to be his, and everything like that. So I like how they did that there, although I don't like that it took 20 minutes to go through the whole thing and then you could die to the boss, but still, I do like how they handled the character development there. Or maybe even like how they did Palin and Porom. I mean, yeah, not so much on the character development, but you got to see them, well, actually talk during it. And they were interacting with each other, maybe a little bit of bickering. Maybe they could have done a little more with that, but it was kind of cool. I liked that. But then most of the trials really just kind of fell flat to me, where there was like, Yang's trial, fight a whole bunch of monks. Okay, or Edward's trial. You know, they could have talked about how he had trouble getting over Anna's death, or something like that. Or, let's see, like Cecil's trial, his guilt for all the atrocities he committed as a Dark Knight. Or they could have done more with that they couldn't do during the original game without actually like massively changing the plot or something like that. That would have been really cool, but most of the other trials, they don't really do that. You know, like Chrono Trigger, the side quest towards the end of the game, almost every character, except, well, maybe Isla and obviously Chrono, you know, all the other characters had a side quest for them that gave them more character development that was really cool. I liked that. And again, with Chrono Trigger, or the second criteria I would say is you gotta have exciting equipment. Equipment that's like, wow, I can't wait to get this. Like, you had the Nova armor in Chrono Trigger for status protection, which is huge to block, like, the Chaos status elements or something like that, or really good weapons or things like that. I mean, yeah, you had new equipment in the Lunar Runes, but none of it's really exciting. It's like, okay, so I got new equipment, but it's a little stronger, I guess, but it doesn't really change how I'm playing the game that much. It's just a little stronger, that's all. So, I don't know about that. So, and the other thing you really need is awesome boss fights. Whether it's, you know, a change in the mechanics, or just a boss that you really love to hate, like the Mother Brain in Chrono Trigger, or Yakra the 13th, or something like that. So I really liked that there. Whereas here, it's just a whole bunch of Lunar Eidolons, and they're not really... I mean, maybe Lunar Ashura, that was kind of cool, but most of them were just whack them upside the head a whole bunch of times, and they've got a ton of HP, more than the original Zeromus had. So it's just a longer boss fight. It's not necessarily harder, more strategic. So didn't really care for that too much. I mean, I enjoyed it, don't get me wrong, but I just don't really consider the post-game content to really add that much to the game. Really, most games I don't care for post-game content, unlike my next main Let's Play series, but I'll get to that soon enough, viewers. Did he just change colors? What's Leech? Oh, well that must mean we almost got him, because usually he only starts healing when he's nearly dead. I think it's based on a percentage of your max HP. Oh, I think his reflex wore off too. Nice. Did we get him? Yeah! Alright, got him. No, he wasn't nearly as hard as I thought he would be. I would have thought he would have used Big Bang a little more or something. I thought he like counterattacked something here. Huh, okay, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's as hard as it gets, viewers, but yeah, I figured I'd show you all that. Yeah, I kind of prefer the Super Nintendo version of this song where it starts out with dun 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 dun. I like that. It's majestic. But okay, well, I think that's everything I can do in the game. I'm almost disappointed that there's just nothing else to do. I'm done. Last time I played Final Fantasy IV, ever. Honest Abe. Well, there is the DS version of the game, which I am highly interested in making an LP for, but I probably want to LP Final Fantasy XII, Final Fantasy X before doing another redo of this game. But, I mean, Final Fantasy IV DS is very different from every other version of the game. All the strategies are different. I mean, the general story and the dungeons and all that are a lot of the same, but, well, you'll see. It's worthy of making a separate LP for. So I hope you've enjoyed reliving the adventure of Let's Play Final Fantasy IV! But the adventure does not end here, viewers. Cecil's journey will live on in Let's Play Final Fantasy IV! Booty Duty. The interlude. Exclusive to the PSP version of the game. Yeah, Booty Duty is a pretty accurate description, actually. But I'll be starting that game as a side LP after I finish my current project there. So there's probably going to be a little gap now, but, well, nuts to that. Use a little break from the game. But I'm going to be taking a few days off also from my main LP before starting my next project here. This is H.C. Bailey, signing off. Have a good day, but you're still hungry.